Hey everyone, this is Rebecca Keppel. I have a new Gina K Designs kit for you today. I want to get this video up fast so that you have a chance to grab the kit before it sells out. So I didn't have time to film an intro and an outro, but you'll get to see the kit and some other new supplies that are available and work really well with the kit. So first, let's take a look at the new Gina K for Thermoweb foil mates. These are what they call a remix. So these are some designs that you will recognize from the past that you maybe haven't seen in a long time. These dots and strings I remember from years ago. They've been kind of reformulated and now they're in those great A2 sizes. I love these stars and stripes. The stripes are super versatile, could be used for anything. The stars are great for 4th of July or for birthdays or New Year's or Christmas. And then the blooming hearts, again, could be used for Valentine's Day, but could be used year round. Anything that is black on these foil mates, you can add foil to with the Gina K fuse machine. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. It's super simple, very easy, no learning curve there. And they really just add a nice touch to your background to add a lot of shine and color and also a really pretty design. I love that they have the holiday ones already available. So if you're getting started on your holiday cards, you can add some foiling really quickly and easily with these foil mates. Now let's take a look at the Relax and Have Fun kit this month. This is the June kit for Gina K Designs. First up, we have the stencil set. It's called Happy Hibiscus. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. So easy to stencil and come together. This stamp set is the Great Outdoors. And this is the freebie that you get with the kit. It's a stamp set called Spice of Life, and there are dies that cut out this label and also the sentiments that are included in the stamp set. And this stamp set is called Next Gen, and there is a die set that will cut out pretty much a lot of these items in this stamp set. So that's a really packed kit with lots of different items, and I wanted to share a little bit of everything. So I'm going to start with the foil mates, and I have my fuse machine heated up. I like to use the 3 with the foil mates and place the foil mate inside a carrier sheet, the foil on top with the color side up facing you, and then the folded edge is going to insert into the fuse machine. And then you just kind of let it go and it will ride all the way out through the back. And I'll do a few different foil mates and a few different colors of Gina K Designs foils so you can see a little bit of a variety there, and then I'll try to use them in the cards that we create today. Look at that. So easy, so easy. You just run it through the machine and that is it. It's just such a great way to foil, especially if you are just getting started and want to try out foiling. This is a really great way to do it. All right, let's start with that freebie, that Spice of Life kit. I have a piece of Ranger's Distress watercolor cardstock in an A2 size, and I'll take a bunch of the Spice stamps and stamp them up with Gina K Designs Amalgam Black ink. And that is because I'm going to do just some very simple watercoloring, and so I will want to work with an ink that will let me watercolor. The great thing about the amalgam ink is that you can watercolor with it or you can use alcohol ink markers. So I like having both of those options in one really great black ink. Basically, all I'm doing is taking a Gina K ink pad, swiping it onto my glass mat, and then adding a little bit of water with a water brush or a little spritz of water, depending on which way I do it, and picking up that color and coloring in these images. Now, they're little tiny spices, so there's not a lot of areas for blending and shading. So I'm doing just very basic coloring, but I wanted to let you know that I'm using all of the Gina K Designs ink pads to color everything in. Now here's one of those foil mates that I covered, and I have the Gina K trimmer here, and I'm just trimming the foil mate down into some strips because I thought they would look nice at the top and the bottom of this card and just add a little bit of shine. I have a little sentiment here from the stamp set. I've stamped it and then die cut it out, and then I'll add a little bit of foam tape behind it and pop that up, and then add that third little strip of foil mate because I felt like that area of the card was kind of a lot of white space that didn't really work. So now I have 3 spots of foiling and all these little spices. It's just a fun little card. All right, for the stencil, I'm laying the first stencil down on an A2 piece of white cardstock, and I have several Gina K Designs ink pads in pink. I love the look of a hibiscus flower that is super bright pink. It just reminds me of Hawaii and being at the ocean and things like that. So I am using a blending brush to blend this out. Now you can see I go back over some areas. I like to leave a little white at first and see how I like it, and then add more color in. You can't add less color, right? So better to go a little lighter if you can, and then add in another layer if you like a little bit more color to it. This second area, this second stencil, I did do a more opaque look, and you can see that center of the flower looks darker. And then we'll add the stamen, and of course there are some leaves also spread around the florals, so I'll add those in as well. And I'm using a lot of the sort of latest colors, not the brand new, absolute brand new colors, but some of the latest colors that were released by Gina K. I love these colors together, the pink and the emerald, and it's a really fun color combination. So I'll link to that as well. I thought I was done. I turned around and I saw there was one more stencil. So I just taped it down real fast because it's just some leaves around other areas of the flowers. So there you go. Such an easy floral arrangement to put together. So summery and bright and pretty. I trimmed it down to about 3 3/4 by 5 because I wanted to go on top of the dotted foil mate that I created. Next, I have a sentiment that's a bit too long. So I'll tape off the part of the sentiment I don't want to stamp at first, then remove the tape once I've inked it up, and that will allow me to just stamp part of that stamp. You could also cut your stamps if you want to, but these letters are pretty close together, so I was afraid I was going to cut the letters. And then I did the same thing on the second row. For the next card, I'll use the Next Gen stamp set and dies. So I have 2 of the little icons that I'm stamping out in the black ink, as well as a sentiment, because there is a die to cut out this sentiment. And I'll stamp them. I double stamp a lot. So I think I double stamped these. I did some very quick coloring, so I didn't show that in the video. And then I trimmed down the striped foil mate that I created with the blue foil, and I'll place that on an A2 piece of white cardstock. That leaves me some nice white space at the top. I'll pop up the sentiment right between the 2 spaces and then pop up those 2 icons on top. And there are so many fun icons in that set. I'll be using it later again this month. This is the Great Outdoors stamp set. It's a silhouette stamp set. So first what I'm doing is creating a sunset background. I have an A2 piece of white cardstock, and I have several colors of Gina K Designs inks, and I'm using blending brushes to blend out these colors. Now, it will take me a little bit longer because I really want a smooth blend. So I'll go add the color, and then I'll go back with one of the other colors and then go in again, so that I'll do this a number of times so that I don't have really any harsh lines once I'm completely done and it all dries and soaks into the paper. That's the thing about dye ink. It will take a little time to do that, but once it does, it's absolutely a beautiful sunset. I did heat set it because I'm going to do some more stamping on top with those silhouettes. So I'm using the Gina K amalgam ink again to stamp these silhouettes right on top. Now, I have them in my Mini Misty because I know I'm going to double stamp, triple stamp them to get the black as I can on top of the inks that I've already blended. So there's a little mountain range or a little hills, and then a tree, 2 bikers, a couple of birds in the sky, and the sentiment is enjoy your retirement, which I really love because you don't see a lot of retirement sentiments. So the bottom stamp doesn't go all the way to an A2 size, so I am trimming this down a little bit, about 4 by 5 1/4, and then I'll mat it on some coral reef cardstock because that's one of the inks that I used. So these are the 4 cards cards that I created with this kit, as well as the new foil mates. I'll link everything in the YouTube description below. I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. Have a wonderful day.